Hello YouTube, this is Reverend Evan Sackett. I have a lot to talk about on this video. I hope I have enough time. For one thing, I'd like to correct a few wrongs that I've been doing. I've always said that indulgence is important, that we should indulge in whatever we see fit and whatever we want to do. But now I realize that that's the wrong attitude to have. I mean, some indulgence is okay, but when it starts endangering your health, it's certainly not something that I think that we should be doing. I myself, I used to be an excessive smoker. I'm still smoking, but I realize now that I really want to quit, and that's a personal issue I'm working towards. I also used to be a heavy drinker, but not so much anymore. I've been watching how much alcohol I consume, because obviously it's not good for your body or your liver to consume excessive amounts of alcohol, especially when it's liquor. I don't use drugs anymore, but when I did, I believed in full indulgence at all times, and the bottom line is that it's just not healthy. A friend of mine, well, he used to be a friend from my drug-using days. This has been about 7 or 8 years ago, the last time I saw him, but he just lives right down the road from me in my neighborhood. But we used to shoot up together, and his wife is infected with hepatitis C along with himself and both of his children. I myself was exposed to hepatitis C while using intravenous drugs, most likely with him, but by a miracle of God, I was one of the lucky 10% whose body cleared it. I produced the antibodies, but I don't have the virus, so thank God for that. But that being said, he last week decided to inject into his foot. He did not drain the air out of the syringe, and anyone who has been an intravenous drug user knows that when you are shooting up, when you pull up the dope into the syringe, you have to push the air out of it. Well, he didn't push the air out of it, and he ended up injecting a half a cc into his leg, which caused an embolism, which blocked the blood flow to his leg, or his bottom foot. So now the blood has been deoxygenated, so now his foot is catching gangrene, and last I heard he was in surgery, and there was an 85% chance he was going to lose his foot. So that kind of when I heard about this, it took me right back to my drug using days, and it really was just a haunting feeling, because I realized that could have been me, because I used to do the same thing that he did. Another factor that has been bothering me is the other day I was reading up on some of these wonderful comments people have been leaving me, and some of them are just funny. For instance, my video that has the most hits, the one about Manson, what was the Manson family, this one guy made the comment that he watched 25 seconds and turned it off because he felt I was a pussy, because he felt that I was purposely hiding in the dark. No, that was not the case. I filmed that video in sunset, so it caused everything to be dark, and I almost took the video down because of that. However, it got so many hits I hated to do that. But no, I was not purposely trying to hide. Another comment this one guy left me, he called me the cussing reverend, and he made the comment, "What kind of reverend are you that goes around cussing? Tell me what fucking church you belong to, because I don't want to fucking join it, because I believe in God." And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, you're criticizing me for cussing, and yet you just cussed yourself and you claim to believe in God. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, if you did think that I was a Christian reverend, then you would have just as much right and obligation to not cuss as I would. And for all of you who do not understand why I am the way I am, why I smoke, drink, cuss, and all that, I'm not a Christian minister. I am an antagonistic minister. And I'm not going to go into my religious beliefs, but I'm not going to go over this again. If you want to know the answer to why I am the way I am and what my church represents, go to the website. I don't know how many more times how much more clear I can make that. This is not a cult. There is not one member of this church that has ever actually met me in person. Every member of my church is over the internet. We do have some local members, but I've never actually met them in person. All of my so-called sermons, which they're not actually sermons, they're just bullshit rants that describe what the church is about is online. They're online. They're on YouTube. And I air a local show that, in that show I preach more than I do on these videos. But there are no members that have ever actually met me in person. There is no member of the church that has ever sent $1 to this church, because we won't hardly accept it. The only time we will accept funds is when we're doing a certain kind of a project. And anyone who does send me money gets direct proof of where their money went. It certainly doesn't go into my pocket. Not that we've ever received any money, because we don't ask for money like all of those Christian churches do. They pass around the collection plate saying if you really believed in God, you'd give us money. And it's really interesting to see all of these Christians get on YouTube and start making all these hateful comments. They're supposed to be Christians, but yet they're highly judgmental. They curse like crazy. And one guy made the statement, I wish I could remember his username, but I can't, but he made the statement, all of those drugs you claim to have took must have rotted your fag-loving brain. God hates people like you. And I'm thinking, okay, so you hate gay people and you call them faggots, yet your religion tells you not to hate anyone. So isn't that a little, isn't that a perfect example of a conundrum, a statement of contradiction? Aren't you contradicting yourself in your own belief system? I mean, it really enrages me the way people are. And, you know, these people that get on here and make these comments, I mean, it doesn't bother me, because it wouldn't matter what you did. It wouldn't matter what video you made. There are going to be some assholes that are going to get on there and make these comments like, you are a stupid, worthless piece of shit. Why don't you just go commit suicide, you fat fucking lard ass? You just want everybody to bow down to you because you're a worthless fucking loser and you have no self-esteem. How many times have I gotten that comment? Most people accusing me of being a cult leader. I can't tell you how many times I've been accused of being a cult leader. And if they would actually take the time to study the visual circle philosophy, they would realize that the entire concept of a cult goes against everything that we represent. But I do feel that maybe it is my fault. I brought this down on myself, because in some of these videos I try to come off as a know-it-all, saying, I know this, I know that, I know the answers. I don't know shit, alright? All I know is what sometimes works for me, and it doesn't even work for me most of the time. So I'm not going to give you any advice to your life. The only advice I can give you is live it, do the best you can, try not to fuck up, you know, make as little mistakes as you can, and don't make the same mistake twice. That's the best advice that I can give you. I don't claim to know anything. So I hope that we can settle this once and for all, because I'm really sick of these comments you guys have been making me. And you know what? How can you be so hypocritical? You are members of religious sects. You go to church. You worship a God that you've never seen or don't even know that exists. And the only reason you claim to love Him is because you're terrified of going to hell. Think about it. I mean, if you say that you love God, have you ever thought about whether or not you really love Him? That's like me saying I love John Johnson. I don't know who he is, but I love him. The only reason you love him is because you were told that if you don't love him, you're going to burn in hell for all eternity. And you know what? Even if God was real, the Christian God, I do believe in God, but I don't believe in the Christian version of God, because I do not believe that God is an egotistical asshole that sends people to hell for not believing in Him. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. The Bible says that we're worthless scumbags, but yet God created us incapable of not committing sin. He purposely made us imperfect, and then He blames us for it. So, I mean, it just doesn't jive. The Bible just does not stand up against outside logic, and I'm not afraid to say that, no, I don't believe in it. Yes, I do believe in God, but I don't believe in the Bible. That doesn't mean it's not true. I'm an agnostic. I don't believe or disbelieve in anything like that. I mean, it may be true. I don't know. But does me not believing in it change the fact of whether or not it is or not? So if it works for you, if you believe in God and it makes your life better, go to it. Because at one time it made my life better. I've been there. I've been a Christian. I've been the person that loved God more than anyone could ever imagine. But you know what? I just kind of grew out of it. But to all you people out there that want to make these comments, make a comment that's sensible. Tell me why I'm a stupid, egotistical cult leader, because I'd like to know where you're